Hi, everyone. Denise Harlow with the National Community Action Partnership. Welcome to today's webinar, where we're going to not necessarily be introducing, but in some ways introducing our newest corporate vendor that's been approved by the board of directors here at the National Community Action Partnership. And I say not quite so introducing because it's Wipfli. And many of us around the country, around community action, know Wipfli very, very well. And we are so excited to roll them out in this new capacity here today. Before we kind of get rolling, just want to flag that we are recording today's webinar. It will be made available later on this week or early next. We'll make sure to send it out to everybody who registered. We'll post it up on our website and we'll make sure everyone has access to it. We'll also be doing that with the slide deck. So please know that you will have access to the slides as well. In addition, the chat window is open. I hope that you will pose your questions, your greetings, your comments, anything that you'd like us to know or share or ask into the chat window. We'll be keeping an eye on it, and the Wipfli team will be keeping a close eye on your questions. Those of you who've been with us on Wipfli hosted webinars in the past know that they are not afraid of any question. They will address it and give you their best thoughts on it, and will hunt down questions that you might have. But today's webinar is a bit less training and much more about our newest kind of expanding relationship with Wipfli. As I mentioned, the board of directors of the partnership approved Wipfli as an endorsed vendor of the partnership. So you will begin to see more collaborative marketing pieces. You will see us perhaps have more of a presence at their events. So they've always had a presence at ours, but they'll probably have a deeper presence at our events, because we know that Wipfli provides high quality, targeted expertise to community action agencies, both on the nonprofit side of the equation, but also our public community action colleagues, as well as Head Start, right? We know that when it comes to federal government funding, it can be complex, and we need to have our partners in the room with us who understand it to keep us out of trouble as much as possible and keep us on the straight and narrow. We know that community action, you have a myriad of accountabilities that you need to meet. And it's great to have Wipfli now as a core endorsed vendor of the partnership. I know I'm going to hopefully see many of you this summer in July, and I'm sure the team from Wipfli will be talking about their annual conference that is focused on nonprofits and government sector issues, specific around government funding later this summer. But I hope to see you there as well and put a plug in for that, as well as their pre-con session at our conference in New York City, the last week of August. I hope that you will join us there as well. So you've heard enough from me. I'm going to turn it over to Kathleen Dubois, who's the industry leader for Wipfli's nonprofit and government practice. Kathleen, we just so appreciate your partnership, your collaboration. There's a lot of people you're going to introduce around your table here that are no strangers to community action, and we just are so appreciative of you joining us here today and kicking off this deeper relationship between our two organizations. I'll turn it over to you.
All right, well, thank you, Denise. And we are likewise so thrilled to be here. And hello, everyone. We're going to have a great hour together. I'm here with my colleagues, Brian Gaumont, Tammy Jelinek, Denise Toby, and Courtney Kohler. And we will be telling you a little bit more about Wipfli. And many of you know us very well, and we know you. And we're going to be presenting how we provide value to community action agencies in 5 core areas: through the My Wipfli membership service, through our compliance services, through our technology consulting services, organizational performance services, and our training services. So here you see on the slide, this is our new tagline at Wipfli: perspective changes everything. And our goal today is to help expand your perspective on how we can work together in a deeper relationship. So next slide, Brian. Okay, who are we? Our mission at Wipfli that drives us every day is to help individuals like you and your organizations reach your full potential. Our passion that drives us is to create lasting positive impact. And I know that that's what drives you too in the work that you do. And speaking of you, you are why we do what we do. And again, we're thrilled to be here today. So next slide, Brian. A lot of people will say, what's a Wipfli? And Wipfli happens to be the last name of our founder, Clarence Wipfli, who founded the firm back in the 1930s. And he had a burning desire to provide value, and his spirit lives on today. And since the 1930s, Wipfli has grown into a top 20 accounting and consulting firm, and we have quite a footprint across the nation. Next slide. And we wanted to show you here as far as our deep and lengthy relationship with community action agencies. We have about a 40-year relationship, and we've been nationally recognized in the work that we do in compliance and training in the areas of federal regulations. And again, we can't express how excited we are to be your newest endorsed vendor. And you'll see some statistics over here on the side as far as the number of community action and Head Start agencies that we provide audits for. Over 5,000 leaders trained. More than 600 of community action and Head Start agencies are members of our My Wipfli membership service. Next slide. And this is just a visual to show where we have our nonprofit, education, and government clients. And again, we serve almost 4,000, which is really incredible, clients across the country, as well as the 50 offices that we have through the United States. We also have offices in India. And what we thought we would do, instead of us, and everybody's going to present in various ways today, is we've got a series of short 2-minute videos where your colleagues are talking about their relationship with our firm. And so let's start with Bertha Proctor, Jacqueline Mercer, and Jay Doman talking about their relationship with Wipfli.
Every community action agency is different. Each community action agency is at a different place in the path of technology, sophistication, and Wipfli meets us where we're at.
My name is Dr. Bertha Proctor. I am the CEO at PACE Community Action Agency.
My name is Jacqueline Mercer. I am President and CEO for Missouri County Head Start Early Learning Schools, Inc., located in Angleton, Texas.
Our mission really is boiled down into helping people and changing lives. We strive to empower people to get the resources they need to be able to get themselves back on their feet and become self-sufficient.
It's all for the children and families. I say that all the time. It's for the children and families.
When I think of challenges for community action and Head Start, the first thing that comes to mind is funding. And the reason I say that is because we don't know from year to year what it will be, so that poses a challenge in planning.
Sometimes the compliance requirement or the government regulation that follows certain funding streams doesn't always make sense.
The most critical challenges, in my opinion, due to the recent pandemic, is providing the services to the children, and then also educating the families to let them know that, bringing their children to our Head Start campuses is a safe environment for them.
We felt very blessed and fortunate to be where we were at with our technology, and I would say in large part that's due to our partnership with Wipfli.
The type of trainings that they provide, it hits everyone. So if you're here for technology, they have it. If you're here for human resources, they have it. Whatever your training needs are, Wipfli can provide those for you.
My agency is a part of My Wipfli. So we use the information that comes to us on a regular basis. We've used the sample policies and procedures. Sometimes just look them up for confirmation.
What sets Wipfli apart is their sheer passion for community action and grant-funded programs, and it drives them to be excellent in the work they do in training us.
Wipfli is beneficial to nonprofits, and especially those that are receiving federal funds.
All right, we absolutely love hearing from our clients. We love serving community action agencies. And at this time, I'm going to turn things over to my esteemed colleague, Tammy Jelinek, who is going to share more details on a platform that many of you are already a part of, our My Wipfli membership service. Tammy?
Hello, I am Tammy Jelinek, and it is so nice to see all of you. I truly do hope to get to see some folks in person at our summer conference, at the conference in August for NCAP. I miss people. And I know you're there and I know you're people. I just miss the in-person energy some days. And I always tease I'm a hugger. So I really do miss that contact. But thank you so much for being here with us today. And I want to talk a little bit about a membership service that came about 25 years ago. And what I joke about with my Wipfli is it was so important 25 years ago for our community action agencies, because at the time, the World Wide Web seriously was kind of just starting out. We actually educated our My Wipfli members on how to even access the my.wipfli.com site back in the day. What was important about this is at that time, and maybe some of you are old enough to remember, you get a book, you take something out of it, you put a new regulation back in, everything is mailed. We had all of this in one place, and we still do. My Wipfli was built to give you the tools that you need to move forward. So we have over 500 customizable templated policies and procedures in it. We do that in finance, technology, and human resources. We have a nice extensive regulatory library. We have toolkits, including Davis-Bacon, because I do know for some of you, Davis-Bacon isn't the best thing you put with bacon, totally get it. But the big piece is that you have access to us. What we appreciate from you, and I hope you appreciate back from us, is that we're a very approachable group. So when you have a question around, oh, remind me if this is allowable, where did I see that in a regulation? Denise, I know I saw you training and I thought you talked about X. Can you tell me more about it? You can ask us those questions throughout the year as part of an annual membership with my Wipfli. And we always invite leadership teams. So it is your executive directors, your program directors, your finance and IT and HR. We want you to be a part of our membership service. So that's a big piece of how we assist agencies. We probably average a couple thousand questions each year, and we really appreciate that opportunity to connect with clients. Next slide. I want to highlight and give you a little bit of feedback here from one of our clients who is a My Wipfli member, and talk with you a little bit about it. It's just gonna, this video is just gonna kind of highlight what you'll see when you become a member. So now I have to ask, please get your fingers ready, go to the chat and let us know, do we have any current My Wipfli members out in our audience? Let us know through chat. Would be really curious to learn that. One of the things we wanted to do today is not only thank our current My Wipfli members, but also invite new community action programs to become members by offering $100 off your annual subscription. And again, if you are a current member, I have never been one that believes the new people should get a better deal than those who have been with us for 25 years. So we can also extend your current subscription and give you that $100 off. All right, well, thank you, Missy. I very much appreciate that comment out in the chat, and glad to see that we've got a My Wipfli member out there. Appreciate that. So as we go through this process, I do hope you take an opportunity to become a member. We look forward to your questions. We always tease that sometimes it's Stump the Trainer. So there you go. All right, we are going to move forward with our next section and discussion all around compliance. And I can't think of anyone who would be better at this than my colleague, Denise Toby.
Thank you, Tammy. Well, welcome everyone. We're glad to have you here. As Tammy said, my name is Denise Toby, and I'm sure I've met many of you over the years. I have been actually auditing community action agencies for 25 years. I've also been involved with the national conference, I think, for probably close to 20 years. I've also been involved with the partnerships new executive director boot camp, as well as the management leadership training conference as well. So I've had a wonderful opportunity to interact with the partnership and with many community action agencies over the years. Next slide, Brian, please. When I came to the firm, I started, as I said, as well, my background is auditing. So I've been auditing, as I said, community action agencies for 25 years, the firm more than 40 years. And we actually audit more community action agencies than any other firm in the nation. And when we talk about, you know, understanding community action agencies and auditing community action agencies, you know, I tell people it's completely different. It's different from a standalone agency. It's different from a more community-based nonprofit organization. And I always ask people, you know, who came from the for-profit world into the nonprofit world? And we get a lot of hands, and I ask them, you know, were you prepared for it? And people say, absolutely not. So as much as we understand what it takes for you to work within a community action agencies, we've learned over the years how to audit a community action agency. And, you know, I think that really brings value to you. If we only audited one or two, we feel like, you know, we wouldn't have the depth of knowledge that we have. And we have, our associates are dedicated to working with grant-funded agencies. And so it's not that we dabble in it in our off season. This is what our auditors do day in and day out, is work with grant-funded agencies. You know, when I started with the firm, it was a traveling job. You would go to audit, you know, an agency in this state or that state. You'd hop on a plane and off you'd go. And that was, you know, our approach for all of those years. And as you know, 2 years ago, it changed all that. And because of our the way we audited before, traveling, our associates were used to not having to be in the office to do their work. So it became very easy for us to switch to a remote auditing format. And in fact, a lot of our clients really enjoyed that approach. And I would say going forward, our approach is going to be probably a hybrid of both. Some people are going to be completely fine staying in a remote format. Some people are saying, no, we absolutely need to have you on site. We will certainly do that. Or, as I said, a little bit of a hybrid of it. You know, instead of sending 3 or 4 staff out for the entire week, maybe we send 1 or 2 out for a few days. And so, you know, we just, you know, we didn't miss a beat, which I think is helpful for the network. One of the things that we are able to do, because we audit so many community action agencies, is to have benchmarks in ways that a particular audit client can compare themselves to similar sized organizations. Because I get that question at board presentations all the time. Well, how do we compare to everybody else? Well, you know, you can't just lay 2 financial statements next to each other and say, how do they compare? Because one may be an urban setting, one may be a more rural setting, one may have, you know, 3 counties that they serve, one may have 10 counties that they serve. But being able to take that information and put it into ratios, percentages, it's easier, and then average that for all of the agencies that we audit. It's easier to compare yourself to the other organizations. And again, without auditing the number that we do, that would be really hard to pull that data together. And that's what I see that boards really like, is to be able to say, okay, these are the hard numbers. These are how we compare. And are there areas that maybe we could improve upon? because they always want to, everybody wants to be the best. So we want to see how we compare to everyone else. And, because of the ability to do remote auditing, and as I said, even before that, we audit anywhere. I've had, clients in Alaska. I'm still looking for Hawaii. So, raise your hand if you want me to come to Hawaii. But, we in, many different states, we have several community action agencies as clients. The other thing that, and then, as I said, many of you know me from the training side, but because of our knowledge of the Community Action Network, as well as, from the training side, we've had the ability to work with different state agencies to be an advocate for you, to be able to bring, issues, concerns that many of the agencies in that state may be struggling with, because they know us from the training side, that the states, we've had a really good opportunity to help resolve some issues. And I think, again, when you can have, a firm be an advocate for you, know who to talk to, know the regulations, know how to audit you, know how to help you resolve any audit findings that you have, we're just really excited for that opportunity. And one thing I also want to talk about is we have a template for an audit RFP that is designed for grant-funded agencies. The organizational standards require that you go out on bid at least once every 5 years. And, this is a template that's really easy to work with, where you fill in your information, talk about your agency, and it covers all of the bases that are important when you're going out on bid for an audit. So if you're interested in that service, I see that Brian just dropped that link into the chat for you. And I think that about does it. Brian, do you want to go to the next slide and let's run a video, please?
My name is Brian Gomont. I am a principal in our nonprofit practice. I've been at Wipfli for 9 years, and we perform more audits for community action and Head Start agencies than any other firm in the nation.
Hi, my name is Katriva Webbs, and I am the Executive Director for Greater Opportunities in the Permian Basin.
I'm Dwana Patton, the CEO of the Ohio District 5 Area Agency on Aging.
We provide Head Start and early Head Start services.
Our mission is to basically serve the community and families to ensure that seniors have the ability to remain independent and safe in their home.
By partnering with Wipfli, we have been able to streamline a lot of our accounting processes, rely on our auditors as a source and a resource, even when it wasn't auditing season necessarily.
Wipfli has been the auditors of the Area Agency on Aging for over 15 years. The audit is very important to us, and that we want to make sure that we meet all the expectations. So really, it really boils down to making sure that we are proactive in our approach to establishing programs, to expensing our grant funds. The audit is the end result, and that everything that we do from each point in time gets us to a successful audit.
Wipfli's done exactly what we were hoping that it would do. It's challenged us to be better, to be more accurate, more efficient, and to make sure that we are keeping up with what the requirements are.
Retaining them for over 15 years has really been about the partnership and the value that they bring to our organization, not just through the audit, but through the work and the support that they provide us, ongoing.
I muted myself there. All right, Brian, thank you. Thank you for giving this opportunity to talk with you. Thank you, Denise Harlow, for giving us this opportunity to address the network. And we are so excited to be an endorsed vendor and look forward to many more years of this, partnership and collaboration. Thank you so much. Brian, take it away.
Thank you, Denise. Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Gaumont, and I've been at the firm here 10 years, and many might know me for riding the coattails of Denise Toby for, I don't know, that was probably 6 years or so. I traveled to many OMB trainings with her and Janet Johnson, for those that might remember that name, for a good long time. And you would think some of that absorbed, and some did, but I by no means call myself an expert. So I'm very happy to be here and echo Denise's comments about just our excitement to have this official relationship with NCAP and continue our partnership with the network. I loved what Jay Doman said early on about our passion for community action, and I hope you can tell that through the stories that we're sharing, through the stories you're hearing from your colleagues. We have a very strong passion for the work that we do here. The videos that you've seen, we call those hero stories because they're your stories. They're your hero stories, and we like to be able to share them. And we hope that we played a part, whether small or large, in you continuing that story and that journey of being a hero. So with that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the support that we've provided the Community Action Network in the area of technology. This has been an area of our practice for going on 20 years, but certainly has grown tremendously in about the last 5. The pandemic was, I would say, a very strong, it's shown a very bright light in the discrepancies that some of our organizations had in the area of technology, having tools that required in-office use or not having the ability to access files remotely. That was a big challenge for many of our organizations, and even some that did have the cloud-based technology. The need for using data to make really smart, informed decisions has become more and more important. How we better serve families and communities and children. We have to have data there to be able to help us make those really smart and informed decisions. So we've partnered with the Community Action Network and agencies in a variety of ways. One we call really improving the client experience. Everything that you do kind of looks through that lens of, well, how do we better serve the customer? Well, we have to know how we can serve them, how we are serving them. And because you serve clients in so many different ways, sometimes that one source of truth is a very hard thing to get to. So being able to better understand how you can and are supporting your customers and being able to give them a better experience in whatever way they interact with you, whether that's first through your website or through a phone call or walking in your front doors, being able to create a unified experience that gets them the help that they need more quickly and in a way that that really makes you proud to be able to, to serve them. The very important aspect that we've been working on here the last several years is improving financial systems of community action because of the requirements of your grant funds. Having really powerful systems that can allocate your costs in the ways that you need is critical, as is the visibility of your data to your program managers, your board, your funders. So working with many organizations to transition them to more improved accounting systems, which I'll mention here in a minute. And then, of course, I'll mention cybersecurity. That has been around here for a number of years as an important service, but something here that as we transition to more and more interactions with our clients in a virtual sense, we need to make sure that that data is protected, as is the information that we house within our organization. I mentioned financial systems. We're a proud partner of a system called Sage Intacct. And we've implemented, it's going up to, I think we're close to 30 to 35 community action and Head Start organizations that we've implemented Sage Intacct with. Very proud of the successes that we've had to be able to create that better data visibility, with also knowing like those fundamentals of fund accounting have to work. So we've been very proud to have this partnership with Sage Intacct and use this tool to really better improve the financial visibility and operations of community action. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let one of our clients, the Community Action Partnership of Kern, tell their hero story and how they've used technology to better serve their clients.
Data intelligence is truly life for organizations and agencies that are trying to help almost 100,000 people each year.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Tobias. I'm the CEO of Community Action Partnership of Kern.
CAPK, our mission in a nutshell is to help individuals and families strengthen their futures. And we do that through a variety of programs, 16 different programs that provide wraparound services for low to moderate income populations. It absolutely aligns with helping people who are looking to strengthen their futures.
So one of the terms that we use pretty frequently in-house is around siloing. We have a lot of programs and they work really well within each other. But once we get to a point where we want to share data, even under the umbrella of the agency, we run into issues around information sharing, even among our own programs.
I've been using Wipfli for the 12 years that I've been at CAPK in my current position.
Wipfli came in and did a face-to-face engagement and assessed not only our technology systems that were connected to each of the programs, but also spoke to the staff that were doing the work, because that's really important.
I love that they do such a great job of keeping us on target and on mission. They're excellent project managers.
As we brought on new programs and lines of services in the last 12 months, we were able to engage Wipfli at the start of that program, so we could just bypass the paper part.
We're a unique organization and we have a top-notch team, and we're very complex and we have a lot of needs. And Wipfli, with their subject matter experts and high level of expertise, matches up well with what we do. They understand our business, they understand the needs we have and the complexities of how we operate, and they have helped move us from a very good organization to an excellent organization.
Awesome. With that, I'm going to turn it over to one of my newer colleagues, Courtney Kohler. I'll turn it to you, Courtney, to talk a little bit about our partnership with the network and areas of organizational performance.
All right. Well, thank you, Brian. So I'm Courtney Kohler, a consultant on the organizational performance team, specifically working on the strategic advisory services team. So happy to be here to talk with you all today. I saw some familiar names on the webinar list. Recently came from the National Community Action Partnership about 6 months ago, and excited to continue to work with community action agencies in this new role as a consultant, doing some of that more one-on-one work with organizations. So I'm going to talk a little bit about organizational performance and what we do in this area. A lot of it is centered around change management, talent management, which I know are some topics that are very top of mind to people right now, especially in our ever-changing environment. We also do a lot of work around strategy and operations. So specifically working on strategic planning, working on community needs assessments with community action agencies, as well as other nonprofits. Some of the engagements we've been involved in recently are to be able to even work with statewide networks to be able to work through that process of developing that community needs assessment. And also working with local agencies on their strategic plans. Some of the work that we also do that we've done both with statewide networks and with local agencies is another area around business continuity planning. So making sure that agencies are looking not only at strategy, but also at, how are we going to make sure that we are prepared and mitigating risks ahead of time. if there is some issue around a pandemic, for example, or a natural disaster that hits the area and maybe the facility of a community action agency. How are community action agencies making sure that they are prepared with their technology systems and all of those backup plans? So we've actually worked with the state network in Connecticut and those local agencies there to facilitate the process around developing those business continuity plans as well. Another area that we do a lot in is around process and performance management. So this definitely links in with organizational standards as well as ROMA. And so making sure that all of those aspects of what community action agencies need to make sure are included in a lot of these processes like strategic planning and community assessment really works through that lens as well. And then another area related to talent management that we do a lot of work in is also looking at statewide or even local kind of salary surveys and wage compensation analysis. And so we've worked with both statewide networks as well as local agencies on that. And something to mention there as well is that we do have a sample RFP. I know Denise mentioned the one for audit, but we do have sample RFPs available for conducting a competitive pay analysis, as well as strategic planning and community needs assessments. So as agencies are needing to put out an RFP to look for a consultant, we do have that template that's available to download on our website to help guide through that process as well. So that step is easier. And then something to mention around talent management. I kind of mentioned this in the beginning, but we, like I said, do a lot of work around talent and change management. Areas like making sure that the structure for the organization is built to support the community action agency, looking at the roles that the community action agency has within it. I've been happy to be on a team that visited an agency just this past week, actually, to do some of this work around an organizational structure assessment and looking at what is that change management process that might need to take place and that support for any changes that would occur with that structure. So those are just some things that we do in this area of organizational performance. I think that these are areas that community action agencies are faced with on a regular basis. And it's been really fun to get into doing this with community action agencies here at Wipfli. So now I think we're going to share a video around some work that was done with Enrichment Services Program down in Georgia.
We want to continue to be innovative. We want to continue to be on that leading edge. And we believe that if we continue to partner with Wipfli, we can accomplish that. I'm Belva Dorsey. I'm the CEO for Enrichment Services Program, and we're a community action agency with our central office in Columbus, Georgia. So Enrichment Services Program has expanded significantly over the last 24 months. And that has been challenging, not only just due to the growth, but also we were growing in the midst of a pandemic. We did partner with Wipfli on an initiative called Managing Unanticipated Change. And we were able to develop some goals and some strategies that really helped us. We were able to think about our service delivery models. We were able to open up a community care station that allowed us to continue to provide services to our customers in a safe way. Going through this process and thinking about how are we going to serve people differently resulted in those type of innovative approaches. So we've been working with Wipfli for, I'm going to say, over 10 years. And the reason why we continue to go back to them is because they have a broad knowledge base. So we can go to Wipfli and address the HR or finance or people. A few years ago, they conducted a technology assessment for us, and we started developing and adopting IT policies and procedures. And we started moving in a direction where we adopted Office 365 and utilized SharePoint and Teams. And I believe if we hadn't done that, we would have been very reactive when it came to navigating through the pandemic. So I can, go on and on and on about our partnership with Wipfli, but they have truly allowed us to think about what those cutting edge efforts need to be as an organization so that we can be relevant and responsive and have a true impact in our communities.
All right. Well, I'm going to hand it over to Tammy now. She's going to talk about training.
Thank you, Courtney. Our time here is almost up, but what's super exciting about this partnership is that it's just the beginning. So we do know this is on purpose. This is the board saying, yes, Wipfli is a part of our kind of smaller trusted community now. And we so appreciate that, because really our relationship with Community Action started with training a long time ago. We offer uniform guidance training. If you have seen a Head Start training with us, I was probably the one that talked with you. Head Start is near and dear to my heart for so many reasons, as are a lot of the programs that you serve. So curiosity, if you can pop in chat, I'm just curious if anyone has seen the Wipfli training in the past, because we do offer and have pivoted numbers of times to offer on-demand virtual training, customized training. We'll come to you. You can come to us. We come to the conferences. And really, training is our beginning for you. It's the beginning of helping somebody new in your agency understand the very compliance world that you're in, but it's also just the beginning of the relationships that we have with organizations. We sometimes hear, I didn't know Wipfli did that. It breaks our heart just a little bit, which is why we were here today, sharing some of the things that we offer you. But if nothing else, if there's no starting point, if you're like, I don't know a Wipfli, come to one of our conferences, come to Denise's pre-con, please take advantage of our training opportunity. Thank you. I'm getting some good stuff in there. Hi, everybody. If you want to go to the next slide, Brian. I have to tell you, this is our culmination. I always tease that our Stronger to Serve conference is the hardest working, most exhilarating week of my life. I get done with it and I am tired, but it is the best time ever, and I know that the NCAP can say the same thing with their conference. It's so lovely when we can all come together. We can get our education, we can get our networking, we can do so many amazing things. So we do invite you, if you want to take an opportunity, come on to Las Vegas in July. It's too hot to be outside. You might as well come inside and be at all of our training sessions. We have over 30 new topics this year. And Brian shared with you an opportunity to register for it. So we do hope we see your teams there. Next slide. We're going to end with a video that just makes our heart really warm. It is so amazing to see our clients, and it's excruciatingly humble for all of us to see them talk about us, because it's what you do, it's your hero stories, it's what you're doing for the community that makes what we get to do when we do training and consulting and auditing so important. So we'll leave you with a video.
I have attended several Wipfli events.
Several, yeah, because I can't remember exactly how many.
I've been at Wipfli for 9 years. My core focus is helping nonprofits really develop and implement their strategy.
We have really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of information. A lot of questions that we've had have been answered, and it's nice to be with a live person.
The conference is a really nice opportunity for them to focus on their own professional development, their own personal well-being. They like asking questions.
Whenever we have a complicated situation or a question that we just really don't know the answer to, Wipfli is the first place that we reach out to.
I actually even had somebody look up a question, pull up documents that were pertinent to my organization, and be able to show me and answer the question.
The people that come to our conference are not just attendees at the conference, they are our friends, they are our partners, and we work side by side with you to solve your problems, innovate new ideas, and continue to serve your communities.
Wipfli, with their subject matter experts and high level of expertise, matches up well with what we do. They understand our business, they understand the needs we have and the complexities of how we operate, and they have helped move us from a very good organization to an excellent organization.
Being able to interact and even talk about some of the sessions that we are in, and then joking, just having a good time. You know, the Wipfli dollars and the Wipfli gear, that's on point.
Oh my goodness, Wipfli, the first night was so fun. When I went up, they were already dancing, having a good time.
Tammy, I love her enthusiasm, and there's a passion that she has for teaching. I love Denise because I can tell that she's been doing this for a while, and there's confidence and there's knowledge and there's stories that she has.
So I would say to the whole team at Wipfli, thank you so much for everything that you do. You make a difference to the community that we serve. You help us serve our clients better. You give us peace of mind, and we absolutely love the incredible work that you do and the relationship that we have with you and the team.
And so with that, I think, Brian, unless we have some questions coming in, we just want to invite you all to take advantage of some of the solutions that we've offered today.
I don't see any other questions coming in. We are happy to answer any if there are some. Of course, you can use your My Wipfli membership if you have it to ask us other questions. But I think we'll leave it with a huge thank you and just being inspired by the work that you all do. Thank you for letting us be a part of the work that you do. And we are excited about our partnership that we've had and the many years ahead that we will have with it. So thank you again. Thanks, Denise. Thank you, NCAP team.